My home, your home. What may seem like a perfect home for one person may not suit another person at all. Is that true for people as well as for mice? Once upon a time, there was a little mouse called Misty. He lived in the country. One day, he asked a little mouse called Sonu from the city to visit him. When Sonu arrived, they sat down for dinner. Misty gave him barley and grain to eat. Sonu was surprised.
Really?
He said,
You do not eat well at all. You should see how I live. I have all sorts of fine things to eat every day. You must come to visit me. It is really very nice to live in the city.
Little Misty did just that. A few weeks later, he went to the city to visit his friend. Sonu took Misty to see a cupboard. It was in the kitchen of the house where he lived. They climbed onto the lowest shelf. There, behind some stone jars, stood a big paper bag of brown sugar. Little Sonu gnawed a hole in the bag. Then he invited his friend to nibble for himself. The two little mice nibbled and nibbled. Misty thought it was the most delicious thing he had ever eaten.
How lucky Sonu is,
He thought as he ate. Suddenly the door opened with a bang. The cook, Mary, wanted to get some flour,
Run!
whispered Sonu. They ran as fast as they could. They rushed into the little hole from where they had come in. Poor Misty was shaking all over. However, Sonu said,
That's nothing. She will soon go away. Then we can go back.
After the cook had gone away and shut the door, they stole softly back. This time, Sonu had something new to show Misty. He took Misty into a corner on the top shelf. A big jar of raisins stood there open. After much tugging and pulling, they got a large dried raisin out of the jar onto the shelf and began to nibble at it. This was even better than the brown sugar. Misty liked the taste so much that he ate it as fast as he could. All at once, they heard a scratching at the door and a sharp, loud
meow. What is that?
asked Misty, alarmed. Sonu whispered.
Shh!
Then he ran as fast as he could to the hole. Misty ran after him. As soon as they were out of danger, Sonu said,
That was Billu, the old cat. She is the best mouser in town. If she catches you, you are lost.
This is really terrible.
said Misty.
Let us not go back to the cupboard again.
No,
Said Sonu.
but I will take you to the cellar. There is something special there.
So Sonu took his little friend down the cellar stairs. They went into a big cupboard where there were many shelves. On the shelves were packets of butter and sugar. There were tins of grains and dals. Overhead hung bunches of onions, and there were spicy pickles in jars standing about. It smelled so good that it went to little Misty's head. He ran along the shelf and nibbled at some grain here and a bit of butter there until he saw an especially rich, very delicious smelling piece of coconut on a funny little stand in a corner. He was just about to put his teeth into it when Sonu saw him.
Stop, stop!
Cried Sonu.
That is a trap!
Misty stopped and said,
What is a trap?
That thing is a trap!
said little Sonu.
The minute you touch the coconut with your teeth, something comes down on your head. Then you're dead.
Little Misty looked at the trap, and he looked at the coconut, and he looked at Sonu.
If you'll excuse me,
He said,
I think I'll go home. It's nice to have brown sugar, raisins, and butter, but I don't want to be frightened to death all the time. I'd rather have barley and grain to and eat it in peace and comfort.
So Misty went back to his home, and there he stayed for the rest of his life.